Hey, welcome to Monday Morning Marriage Minute. First of all, thank you for all the emails. There's no possible way I can do a video on every one of the emails I'm getting. In fact, I'm finding it quite hard to reply to all the emails, but I will. It might take me a little while, so hang in there. Don't think I forgot. Just piling through them as fast as I can. But thanks for the great observations, questions, insights. It's been a lot of fun, and we are going to continue on. So today I want to talk to you about dogs. So hold on. I don't know if you're like me, I love dogs. I love big dogs. I have a 150-pound Rottweiler sitting right next to me right now. I've got another 120-pound Golden Retriever. I love dogs, all kinds of dogs. You know, big dogs, small dogs. I love Doberman Pinschers. I love poodles. I love everything. I'm just a dog person. Don't really care for cats. Don't hold that against me. Please don't send me an email. There's a point to this. Some people hate dogs. They just hate them. They don't like them. Some people are afraid of dogs. Some people think dogs are just a nuisance. They're slobbery, they're hairy, they shed. There's just a lot of work. You got to pick up the yard, all that stuff. Some people, like my wife, they like dogs except for one kind of dog. My wife does not like German Shepherds. And you think, how can you like all dogs but not German Shepherds? See, the point is this, like in life, there are some things we like and we don't like. And a lot of times we can't explain it until we look at the history of the story. So when you're in an argument with your spouse and you say, well, this is dumb, well, this is stupid, why don't you see that? Why don't you see that? Don't focus on that issue at hand, but begin to ask questions. And both of you need to understand what the history is behind your opinion or your thought or such a hard stance on something. So if someone just spends a few dollars and you think nothing of it, but your spouse blows their top, you got to go, okay, it's not just this is not just the issue. It's the story behind it. Going back to my wife, you think that someone who raised Great Danes and now has a giant Rottweiler, and we've had a couple, why wouldn't she love German Shepherds? Well, when she was a young girl, she was attacked by a German Shepherd, and so now she's got a fear of them. It's unrealistic, and it's really kind of unfounded other than that one example, but in a sense, it is founded because it happened to her. It left her with stitches. It traumatized her. So everyone has a story behind a big issue. So if you look at something like finances, or when your husband says he's going to be home and he's late, or your wife says, it was a good deal, I had to get it, or when your wife comes up and says, hey, can we talk, and you get a knot in your stomach, or when your husband comes up and says, hey, are you going to wear that, you know, and you think, why, am I fat, or all these different things, your reaction always goes back to a story of why you have that reaction. So ask questions and find out the story. And don't start with your spouse to begin with. Find out the story behind why you react and why you have such a strong stance on certain things. And begin to discover. And then go to your spouse and say, hey, listen, the way I responded that way, and the reason is because I begin to think about why I respond that way. And it's because of when I was a kid or a child or when I was first dating or whatever it was. And help them understand why you had that response. Find the story. One last example. I was talking to a woman, her name was Connie, and we were talking about how I snore. And I mean, I can snore with the best of them. I probably would win an Oscar when it came to snoring. And I said, you know, it drives my wife crazy. And sometimes I get up in the middle of the night and I just sleep in another room or on the couch or something to give her a break. And my CPAP machine was like an answer from heaven. But Connie said she loves when her husband snores. And I said, how can you love? He must not snore very loud. She said, oh, he snores incredibly loud. But she said, it just puts her at peace and ease and she loves it. And I said, how can that be? She told a great story. She said when she was a young girl, her dad was a traveling salesman. And he'd be gone for days and even weeks at a time. He would get home like 1 or 2 in the morning. And she said many times she'd wake up at 1 or 2 in the morning and she'd hear her dad snoring. That's how loud he snored from a couple rooms away. And she went on to say when she heard her dad snoring, she got all excited because she knew dad was home. And he was going to be up in the morning and he was going to help her fix breakfast and help her with their lunch for school. And he was going to kiss her and talk to her and tell her about what a great trip he had. And it was just going to be a great time. So she said now when her husband snores, she kind of wakes up and has those memories and she goes, I'm glad my husband's here. I'm glad that I have a husband who snores. I'm glad I have a husband who sleeps in my bed, who loves me, cares for me, and cherishes me. And so it's all context. It's the story behind the reaction. It's the story behind why you stand on something so tough. So discover your own stories on why you have such strong opinions about things. And remember, you're not going to solve your differences, so learn to celebrate them, laugh about them, understand the stories behind them, and move forward. So if you have questions, remember, you can email me at 1minutemarriage@gmail.com. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please pass this video on to anyone else you think could enjoy some good marriage advice. We'll see you in a little bit. Hey, also, by the way, I'm going to start shooting out some smaller 30 to 40 second videos during the week and just call it a minute moment or a marriage moment. And so if I can keep it under a minute, that'll be a miracle. So let's see how that works. But stay tuned. Have a good one. And remember to spend time with your best friend because you're supposed to be married to him. Peace.